Hello everyone, in today's video we will be looking at the loot we get from 5 tier 8.1 solo dungeons. I did a similar video yesterday, that is for tier 8 solo dungeons without enchantment. The results were not good for tier 8 dungeons, but we will see how the tier 8.1 dungeons go in this video. Okay, we finished the first boss and luckily it was an epic chest. Let's see what we get. Oh, that's really good. 1.2 million. Okay. I usually get this much loot from legendary chests in the tier 5 zones, but this is really good. Right, let's get on with the dungeon. Right, I just killed the second boss and it was the same exact boss again. And see, it's the same chest, but just look at the difference in loot. 1.2 million and 200k. Now this chest is not different in any way from a tier 5 yellow zone dungeon chest. I think most of this 1.2 million is from this one item and the sword. Right, let's go with the next chest. Okay, we are at the end of the first dungeon and it's 40k. Right, so far the first chest we got was really good and the rest is the same as tier 5 zones, I have to say. Maybe we got lucky on the first chest, but I'll do a few more dungeons. We'll see how many lucky chests we get. Okay, we are at the first boss of the second dungeon, and it's this guy again. It's the third time in 2 dungeons. Let's see what this guy has in loot. Alright, let's see what we get. 130k. Okay, that's really good for a blue chest. 50k. Okay, this is more this is more like the usual blue chest. And another 50k. So in total 270k. Again, not that good. Right, green chests are still the same. 280k from opening 4 chests. Okay, just finished the second dungeon and 178k. Again, the loot is not that good. I got really lucky in the first chest, but this is not good. So 500k for the whole dungeon is good, that I will admit, but still not being able to faction flag and the initial risk of just coming over here is just too high. Now I have to travel all the way over there, and if I don't want to do that, I can just travel back, but someone can still gank us while we are doing this. And another thing is that we have to deduct the map's cost from this profit. Okay, this is the first chest in our third dungeon, and yeah, 50k from a blue chest. This is just like the yellow zone dungeons, not much better. Finished with the third dungeon, and we did not get much loot in this one. The last chest was garbage. I don't know, this happened yesterday too. The first dungeon I did in the tier 8 dungeons, that was really good. And the first tier 8.1 dungeon I did was also quite good. Oh look, I just got invaded by a bunch of people. Good thing that I cleared the dungeon. I think it respawned though. Dungeons don't stay open this long, right? And this one spawned right outside city. Okay, finished the first boss in the fourth dungeon. 200k again, not different from tier 5 dungeons whatsoever. Slightly worse maybe. Sometimes you get 400 or 500k from tier 5 dungeons. Right, finished the 4th dungeon and 50k just again. So 300k, not that good considering the map itself was 120k. $200k, okay, that's not bad for a blue chest. And the entire dungeon we got 235,000 and the map was 120k, so the profit is just not there. This is not worth doing whatsoever. Alright, we have finished all 5 of our tier 8.1 solo dungeons, and the final loot is just a little bit over 2 million silver. I have removed this to balance the investment. The 600,000 is removed for maps and 100k is removed for travel bags we used. So we did get 2 million, and in that 2 million, half of it is from the first dungeon. Just remove these two items that we got from the first dungeon and just cuts our profit in half. It's mostly me getting lucky in the first dungeon. This is not a consistent loot. As we saw, every single dungeon it just kept getting worse and worse. The same thing happened in the last video where I did tier 8 dungeons without any enchantment. I think those dungeons were actually more profitable than these because of the map costs. Those dungeon maps are like 20 or 25,000, I think. Let me check. Yeah, these are 25,000 each, and just do tier 8 dungeons if you want to do solo dungeons. Tier 8 are pretty good actually if you don't have enough spec or enough gear to do group dungeons solo. Just do tier 8 dungeons. Other than that, these dungeons are just not worth doing if you have strong enough gear to solo group dungeons like this set over here. Despite not even getting that much loot, we also have a big disadvantage of not being able to faction flag while doing these dungeons. Now, you guys may say that faction flagging is not that profitable or it's no big deal to not be able to faction flag. Yes, look at these points. I have 76,000 points and I can buy a winter bear cup with this. That is a million silver for free right there. Now these points did not take me that long to accumulate either. If you guys saw my last video that I posted 1 or 2 days ago, I spent every point I had in that video and I have 76 points again in like 1 or 2 days. These points are not that hard to get and you can buy really good items with them. If you want to spec up your gear, you can buy these tomes. If you want to get profit, you can buy the elite winter bears. You can even craft these mounts yourself if you have your animal breeder leveled up, and this will increase your profit even more. Just crafting one of these mounts is more profit than doing 5 of these dungeons. So unless an activity in the black zones or danger zones in general can compensate for the free rewards you get from faction flagging, it's never going to be worth doing. That's the biggest problem with the game right now. Faction flagging is just a really nice bonus. It's kind of mandatory actually. If you just fill up these bars every single day, the amount of passive income that you can build up by just faction flagging is more than having a island. This generates more silver than you can generate on a really good island. That's why always stay in the safe zones unless you want to do PvP. Black zones are only good for PvP. Now the loot from PvP is extremely unpredictable. We can't guarantee the silver per hour on a PvP, since your opponent has various types of gear, and you might win some and you might lose some. So unless you want to do PvP, just stick to the safe zones. They're far more efficient in every way compared to a black zone. Unless you are, one of those elitists who think being in a safe zone is a noob's thing, just play in the safe zone. Right, guys? See you in the next video.